This is the only future I will allow for you.
But Mother, I love him.
What is going on here?
Your mother offered me money to leave.
Marcus Webb had been married to Naomi for 6 years, and in all that time, he'd believed his mother's quiet formality toward his wife was simply Vivian's nature, a proud, composed retired school principal who kept everyone, even family, at a careful, respectful distance. What Marcus never knew was that Vivian had never truly accepted Naomi. Not because of anything Naomi had done, but because of who Naomi's mother had once been, a woman named Denise, who decades earlier had been Vivian's closest friend, until a bitter falling out over money Vivian had lent her and never gotten back. Vivian had buried that resentment for years, telling herself it had nothing to do with Naomi. But watching her son marry Denise's daughter reopened a wound she'd never properly healed, one she'd never spoken about to anyone, least of all Marcus. She told herself she was protecting her son from a family she didn't trust. In truth, she was still angry at a woman who was no longer even in the picture, and Naomi had simply become the nearest place to put that anger. 3 weeks earlier, Vivian had begun quietly withdrawing money from a personal savings account, a plan slowly forming in her mind that she hadn't dared say aloud to a single person. Marcus left work early that Friday afternoon, his anniversary gift wrapped carefully on the passenger seat beside a bouquet of roses and the small brown teddy bear Naomi had pointed out weeks earlier, laughing that it reminded her of one she'd lost as a little girl. He wanted to surprise her before dinner. He hadn't told anyone he was coming home early. Not Naomi. Not his mother, who still had a key to the house and often let herself in on weekday afternoons. When Marcus pulled into the driveway, his mother's car was already parked out front. He assumed nothing of it. Vivian visited often enough that it barely registered. But the moment he stepped through the front door, gift still in hand, he heard his mother's voice, flat and businesslike, coming from the dining room. "Take it," Vivian said. "Sign the papers, leave quietly, and this will all disappear before he ever finds out." Marcus stopped in the hallway, out of view. Through the doorway, he could see Naomi seated at the table, arms crossed tightly, refusing to look at the money spread in front of her, a thick stack of cash, a folded check, and a manila envelope beside it. His stomach dropped. He set the flowers down quietly on the entryway table and stepped forward, his heart pounding. "What's going on here?" Marcus asked, his voice cutting sharply through the room. Both women turned, startled. Naomi's face flooded with relief the moment she saw him. Vivian's composed expression faltered for only a second before she straightened, quickly sliding the check back toward herself as though she could undo the last 5 minutes simply by tidying the table. "Marcus, this doesn't concern you," Vivian said. "Go back outside. Naomi and I are having a private conversation." "It concerns me plenty," Marcus said, stepping fully into the room. "I just heard you offering my wife money to leave me. Explain that to me right now." Naomi finally spoke, her voice trembling but steady. "Your mother came by 20 minutes ago. She told me she'd pay me $50,000 to file for divorce quietly and disappear from your life before our 5th anniversary next month. She said I'd never really belonged in this family and that this was the cleanest way for everyone." Marcus turned to his mother, stunned. "Is that true?" Vivian's jaw tightened, but she didn't deny it. "I was trying to protect you," she said quietly. "Protect me from what?" Marcus asked. "My own marriage?" Vivian was silent for a long moment, her composed mask finally beginning to crack under the weight of a truth she'd avoided saying out loud for 30 years. "Sit down, Marcus," Vivian said finally, her voice quieter now, stripped of its earlier sharpness. "There's something I should have told you a long time ago." Marcus sat, still visibly shaken, Naomi's hand finding his beneath the table. "Naomi's mother, Denise, was my closest friend once," Vivian began. "Before you were born. We were inseparable for almost a decade. When I was struggling financially after your father left the first time, before we reconciled, Denise lent me a significant amount of money to keep our household afloat. I promised to pay her back within a year." She paused, her hands folding tightly in her lap. "I never did. Not because I couldn't, because pride got in the way, and then too much time passed, and admitting the debt felt more humiliating than simply avoiding her altogether. We stopped speaking. I told myself it was mutual, that we'd simply drifted apart. The truth is, I abandoned that friendship because I couldn't face what I owed her." Marcus stared at his mother, stunned. "That's what this is about? A debt from 30 years ago?" "It's about shame," Vivian said quietly. "When you brought Naomi home and I realized whose daughter she was, all that old guilt came rushing back. It was easier to resent her than to admit what I'd done to her mother." Naomi spoke gently, her earlier tension softening into something closer to understanding. "My mother passed 3 years ago, Vivian. She never once mentioned you to me. Not with anger. She barely mentioned you at all." Vivian's eyes filled with tears. She tried to blink away. "That might be worse," she said softly. "It means she genuinely let it go, while I let it poison how I treated her daughter for 6 years." Marcus shook his head slowly, still processing. "So instead of ever telling me any of this, you decided to pay my wife to disappear?" "I panicked," Vivian admitted. "I told myself it was about protecting the family. It was never about that. It was about me refusing to sit in a room with the daughter of a woman I wronged and finally saying the words, 'I'm sorry.'" Naomi reached across the table, sliding the untouched check back toward Vivian. "I don't want your money," she said. "I never did. I just wanted to understand why you never gave me a real chance." Vivian took the check with trembling hands, folding it slowly. "You deserved a real chance from the very beginning," she said. "I'm the one who owes an apology, to you, and to your mother's memory." In the weeks that followed, Vivian did something she'd avoided for 30 years, she visited Denise's grave for the first time, bringing flowers and finally saying aloud the apology she'd swallowed for 3 decades. Naomi went with her, standing quietly beside the woman who had once tried to pay her to leave. The walk back to the car was slow and mostly silent, but something had shifted between them, a wall neither had fully acknowledged finally beginning to come down. Vivian's relationship with Naomi changed gradually after that, built now on honesty instead of quiet resentment. Sunday dinners lost their formal edge. Vivian began asking Naomi real questions about her life, her mother, the childhood she'd never once shown genuine curiosity about before. On their delayed anniversary dinner, Marcus finally handed Naomi the roses and teddy bear he'd never gotten to give her that Friday afternoon. Vivian sat with them this time, present in a way she'd never managed before. "Thank you," Vivian said quietly to Naomi, "for not walking away when I gave you every reason to." Naomi squeezed her hand gently. "I married into this family for Marcus," she said, "but I think I finally understand what it means to actually be part of it."